Tonight, from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, it's Week 3 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the San Francisco 49ers taking on the New York Giants.
We are about 40 miles or so south of Candlestick Point at a place that first opened back in 2014 as you get a look at Levi's Stadium here in Santa Clara, California.
Today, boy, what a matchup. Two NFL franchises with so much history, so much tradition, getting set to do battle here, as it'll be the New York Giants taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they enter play here. Nothing on the scoreboard, 0-0 as the offense gets ready to take over the football.
Now a two-time Pro Bowler coming off a big year, Saquon Barkley takes it to about the 37.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 18 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, obviously, he didn't have a great deal of time between games, having to turn around on a short week and get ready for Thursday night football. But he said in pregame he was feeling pretty good and felt more recovered from last week's contest than he would have expected. Didn't seem to think this short week was going to affect him much as he chases a big performance here in prime time.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
He was looking for Michael Pittman that time.
And it's third down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Flush to it, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
And Nick Bosa so quick on the outside. He gets in there to bring him down.
On fourth down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. This is taken at about the 14.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return.
And the Niners will go on offense. First and 10.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. They come off.
Right now, we're all even. It's a tie game as we drop you back in and the offense gets set to take over. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40.
They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. First and 10. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a first and 10.
What a catch there by Robinson.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
That is one heck of a catch right there. Got his eye on it the whole way and able to make the grab one-handed. Very nicely done, and for a nice chunk of yardage, too.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Up the middle with Barkley. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 9, 2nd and 5. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Nick Bosa able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
On 4th down, on is Graham Gano for the Giants field goal. Gano's kick is good, and the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best and don't worry about the rest of it.
And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Touchdown, Giants. Michael Pittman, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Giants have taken the lead. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw?
All right, the offense back on the field here. Let's see what they can do on this play. Back to throw now on 1st down. Open target here, Darius Slayton. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
Waller's had trouble staying on the field since back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, but few possessions of athleticism at the position, and that's what the Giants traded for last offseason. Looking like the vintage Waller with that 1st down.
Two minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. That is caught. Michael Pittman with it. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll look to throw again. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season.
And the Giants are able to widen their advantage.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11.
Now this thrown deep for Slayton.
And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield.
Well, obviously they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one a little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You've got to stay in a spot far downfield where you can play the ball without creating extra contact. Well, I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's 2nd and 10. Out of his hands quickly to Pittman. And they are going to have a 1st down, and they're in field goal range as well as they're down inside the 20.
Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Gano's kick is good, and that will do it for the... Both offenses have been clicking in this one. A lot of points on the board. We'll see if that trend continues. They begin with a run by Barkley, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Now here's a throw that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Giants 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw here.
Left side, he's got Robinson.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Barkley, inside handoff. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. It was pretty evident in reading everything, hearing these guys talk, that this was a deal they wanted to get done. They know how valuable he is to this team.
Absolutely a key component to what they do and what they do well. And if they want to continue to have success in the future, they knew they needed him, and they got the deal done.
Back now here in Santa Clara. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the fourth. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Back to throw.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Really solid coverage from the current NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Also had an interception in that game a week ago.
And it was fun to watch him in practice this week, wasn't it? To see how he understands spacing and when the ball's arriving, which hand to put out in front to try and knock it away. And he just exhibited it on that play.
Throw left side, taken in by Slayton. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt, certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. A handoff to Barkley. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line.
50 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
And they'll run again. Pushing for the end zone, but he's not going to get there. They stop him just shy of the goal line.
A lot of of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
Barkley will take it in for the Giants touchdown.
And this is the time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the 4th quarter, and a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here.
The drive starts with a completion left side. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Here's a give to Barkley, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. They'll set up to throw.
The toss here completed to Pittman.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
Now Saquon Barkley. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance. Reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Well, the faithful in full roar here in Santa Clara. This is 3rd down.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the defense as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game.
All 3 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10 now.
Again, it's Barkley.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17.
Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Barkley. And here he'll get it down to the 7. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th.
Now second down and a few inches.
They'll run with Barkley, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Here we go, first and goal.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the fourth.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes.
We've got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for the Giants, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say good night from Silicon Valley.